InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you, my energetic beings. It is I, once again, Tonya D, and welcome to Monday. Um, I practice shamanism and mediumship along with the subtle energies, merging the indigenous with the energetic fields. Mostly it's the subtle energetic fields, but welcome to the Threads of Monday. It's December 20th, and we still have some juicy items on those waves, but the energy of the galactic full moon isn't really quite dissipating. We've got Venus retrograde, Chiron direct. So, those are the waves of our thoughts and the shapes of our perceptions, this collective kind of structuring of our lives in and outer worldly, I would say. So, it's kind of like, what is the choice offline? Will you choose to be possessed by your fears or liberated through them? So today really is a day to allow the greater galactic universe to handle all of the things that are literally outside of the box in those threads. But the day just begins with that, and then we actually cascade with the time to set the foundation, the concrete part of our future, the next chapter, instead of just some scribbled pages, to manifest that which our heart truly believes in our reality. So it's like, are we going to be liberated or are we going to be fearful? So if you have yet to check out Voices of the Other World, I'm super excited about that. And just know that the space is limited. I want to keep the container actually pretty tight to process all the juice. Um, so yeah, I'm super excited about it. I'm still kind of mashing it together, kneading the dough. But today we have a young water tiger on the elemental highway. And yang water is like the galaxy, the oceanic stars, and the ocean itself. It's large bodies of water that surround our earthly home, whether it's the planet Earth itself or the oceans that surround Earth around different aspects, cultures, and environments on the Earth. So if you're hearing the call for a divination, having some energetic hiccups, a great gift for yourself to release into what is called a fire year, which is next year. We're heading into a year of fire. Those threads are already awakening. Same with the next year is going to be a tiger year. So there's a lot of juice happening, but the fire in the Dagara is going to be a masculine year. So the elemental realm and the beings are the spirits of the elementals. So it's going to be super juicy. But today we have that tiger on the branch. So the energy of the tiger is at play. The day with the yang water is going to feed the tiger, plus the rat right next to is going to feed it as well. But we have metal to house the water, and the ox on the branch is going to hold the metal. So we have, direct flow to the tiger with all of the elements except for fire, which would be output for nature, what it creates, right? So the day master is one of communicating different ways of healing, which honestly, healing is a very large, vast word. It expands on a variety of things. Healing in nature would be herbs, essential oils, things from and of nature that actually heal. More nature and some fire. We only have one fire, which is actually hidden in the branch of the tiger. So it's time for fire, some nice kindling fire, not an outdoor crazy white man fire, as my dad would call it, but the energy of the tiger needs to be kind of recognized. It needs to be in the limelight. So, you just might see some people shedding some skin and kind of coming out of the closet today because there's a certain majestic quality about tigers. There's some refined sophistication, the ability to belt out a song with that capacity of the energy of the tiger. But there's also sometimes this aloofness, which comes from the air quality of the element. This is being like a water air, all playing there in the fields. But within this, there's also a desirability to wear a mask, if you will, when protecting their feelings from the outer world. Masking or wearing a mask to hide their pain. Generally, it's issues of grief. The lungs come to the surface. So I am curious about this new year. It's going to bring in some serious grief. There's more than one tiger starting the day, not including it's going to be a tiger year. I'm actually going to be doing a Meet Me for Coffee with Mary Shirtliff, talking about this new tiger year as well. But I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole here, but it's a tiger year and a tiger hour and a tiger day. There's just a lot of tiger energy. So the energy is where we feel sadness, and that's where we think about the people, the places, or situations, and what that sadness and that grief represents. Getting depressed over those matters and those areas and looking to be kind of recognizing those there. I think grief rituals are going to be really higher on my octave coming into this next year. Greens are a thing and golds to align with both our heart center and the soul's harmonic today. Both of those, the higher heart. So we're tuning into the loose ends of the season of Sagittarius. So it's a day to think our worth and actually innovate that worth and make it otherworldly, because we're supported by the galaxy, the universe in our reality. So it's like bringing heaven to earth. So we might get a little squishy. We are the gift. The gift is our prime directive. So upon waking up, we have this inner awareness, the energy of vitality and growth and nature. It's our authenticity, just adding more love to the pot, not just a spoon, but more like a dollop, a lot, so we can be heart centric and center our feelings, like to ground them, which really is a task. Let me tell you, don't allow your mind to try wrap around how we ground our feelings. It gets in the way, or at least for me, it's a task. So if you know how to ground your feelings, super juicy, easy for sure, let me know. It's just an octave to always be aware of. But what happens if our feelings are full of debris, toxic debris, the negative, right? So that's online, and it makes it harder to manifest. So if you are in the threads of having a difficult time to manifest, it really is time to cleanse your auric field, the emotional fields, all of your fields of that toxic debris. So it really is worth it to really do an energetic cleanse. You might have to do it hourly, daily, monthly, just depending on what debris is at hand. Then when the clearing and the cleansing is done with some clarity and some reconciliation and the peace comes in, those thread lines, then we have time and we have space to pour the focus literally in the chalice on those feelings that add the super juice to the future life beyond the yellow brick road. So holding the thread lines of the belief to really manifest down the path, and it's illuminating the crossroads. So the best thing to ultimately do is to hold the sensation, that feeling in our heart's desire, out into the galactic wave, out into the future. So if people try to pull the rug out from under your feet, then I would really stay away from them or those environments and those situations. They can really just take the wind out of your sail, and anything that is less than a vibration that could sink your ship, your manifestation, you kind of have to flick it away. Sad but true. But the key really to access this is to sit and be grounded in your emotional frequency and validate your emotions. Blow up your own skirt, if you will, blow your own sail, staying on your own galactic course, thinking all the positives, and really hold them out into the future beliefs, create a visual for them as well, and add those creative ingredients to really take form, counting your blessings, be in a state of gratitude, hold the frequency, stay optimistic, the tone, the note, whether you're a sounding bowl person or a song person, it's those higher octave notes. So it's a really good idea to deliberately create and memorize this feeling of harmony, the harmonics, the signs, the meta symbols. It's what you will going to use to actually move forward on the wave in those river streams. So what is the overall tone that you consider to be the foundation of who you are? What is that note? What is that tone? What is that sound? So it really is this concrete feeling of a foundation, and we get to add to the mix more of our own personal galactic love story, I guess. So it's really kind of imperative that we hold the sound and really experience the juicy future life, what that feels like out in the thread. So if you have any flare-ups, what I call energetic hiccups, that's kind of a signal of emotional baggage that we haven't released yet. It's our alert signal. So it's really wise to focus on our self-nurturing, our own inner compassion, instead of those outside forces of adversity. So it's best to be in the zone of neutrality and hold the field to that higher octave, be in a state of bliss and grace, those streams and love, etc. So I would say tests usually come up to see if we're really threading like a Jedi Knight or a Yoda. So you might even be tested on what you really believe in. And the universe, being galactic, likes to really lay claim to our heart to see if what we desire is really in alignment with our highest octave self. So really stay in a zone of neutrality, the neutral zone, the zero. The zero zone is kind of what I call it, with some flavors, but and respond even with neutrality or have no response at all. And pay attention to your feelings. Feelings never lie. It's just that we quit listening and attuning to them sometime in our journey. So really stay true to your vision, your authentic beliefs, yours and a higher perspective and response, be in the flow, the waters of how you feel and what your feelings are expressing to you on the inside and even on the outside, and just maintaining personal integrity to the core of love, the galactic center that we all have, and add more love to your own cosmic soup. Instead of giving out that love elsewhere, answer questions with your heart believes to be true. And there's no need to judge yourself as these waves come up, because they're going to. Just be unconditional to the love you give yourself and validate your beliefs with feelings. So anything that really isn't in alignment with the core of your true essence, your authenticity, the seams will literally become unthreaded and they will fall apart. They will fray. So our feelings are really our barometer to trust if the message is true or not, because we're moving from the energy of our sacral energy, the earth star, into the higher heart. So we have the sounds of nature to tune into or tone into. I often think of crickets when I think of the harmonics of nature, adding in some birds chirping. That really kind of is a thing for me, but it's the yummy sound for the heart, the heat of the ha of the fire, and the swishing of the sounds of nature, or even it could be even like the wind. Um, you can't see the wind, but you can see the effects of the wind when things are flying through the air, right? So I have some stones for the day. I was going to do a few, but the heart being online and the juice of the galactic center, that juice is there. So this would be stones like rose quartz and emerald and green avertine, rhodonite, amazonite, green jade, malachite, moldavite, things that are green, but I didn't pick green colors. I'm going with these two lovelies. Here we got Dawn. It's called rhodochrosite, which I think is a beautiful stone. I think it resonates with the heart center herself. So these are different shades of pink that come together to create this banded, beautiful stone, bridging every channel that rises from the root center through our solar plexus and to the radiant light of our heart center. So it's just this magical cleanser, and it brings in like the surefire essence. So if you do have any emotional blockages, this gem is going to track down all of them and clear them out, just right out. It's actually ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love, which just went retrograde. So I was kind of tuned into this for that reason, to cleanse the emotional blockages and the baggage, just making us feel that heartfelt connection stronger for ourselves so we can radiate that out to others. But it's also an exceptional stone for reconnecting with those who you wish we have lost touch with, for strengthening those existing relationships, whether in the world or not in the world. I'm thinking of the ancestral realm or people who have crossed over. And then we have, whoops, hit the wrong, there we go, bing. It's called Prehnite, Prehnite. So this is going to glow with this invigorating kind of solar plexus vibe, but it also strikes a chord with our heart center, which is highly attuning. And it's this luminous color for bringing high levels of unconditional love and healing to the table. So if you are a healer, an empath, or a shaman out there, just having the stone by our side is truly essential for keeping us soft and open and free from the burnout. So it just promises these stronger spiritual vibrations and can be just an amazing tool for keeping our heart connected during our meditations, our visualizations, or any other psychic practices that we attune to or we're working with. So just kind of as a protector as well. Ding, ding, ding. here we go. Get rid of that one as well. So yeah, those are just some great stones I had for there. But then the cards of the day, and I always love how the cards of the day go with the energy of the day. But the eagle, I pulled out my Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. That's kind of what I was connected to. But the eagle comes from the energy of the east. It's where the sun rises. It's our new beginnings. It kind of is similar to the energy of the tiger, which is also in the east. So it's seeing the bigger picture and a higher soaring perspective down to the minute details with clarity. There's no obstacles, there's only opportunities. So it's really calling us to ascend higher, like get a galactic point of view, a higher elevated perspective through the eyes of the eagle. So being the wings, soaring on the wings, whether it's with an eagle or with the creator, the oneness, the great spirit, whatever resonates with you and for you. It's the question is, are you being called to look through eyes of the eagle, a higher perspective, or just allowing your vision to see the entire becoming of laser-like messages? So it's also, what is your gift? What is your prime directive in this incarnation, this life? And are you living your purpose authentically? Have you climbed the ladder of success, financial or society's idea of what that even looks like, or socially, those thread lines? Or, are you here to heal your heart, become a better person, or even just have self-realization of your essence of the self that you are, the essence of who you are? So what is your otherworldly mission here on planet Earth? So the message here is it's time to answer that call, literally get the download. We've had plenty of time. It's not time for excuses anymore. The time is now to literally get off the couch. And honestly, we only postpone and betray ourselves when we stop living our life purpose, right? We become the couch. So see things like an opportunity, not like an obstacle. That's how the eagle sees things. So it's time to just free ourselves from the shackles of man, the ideas of man, and soar like an eagle, flying to the highest of heights, the galactic corridor, out into the clouds, seeing through the eyes, new beginnings, an elevated perspective that is going to be otherworldly. Then we have the child, which I'm not sure I've ever grabbed this card before, but have you ever watched children? They really know the way to happiness. They're super funny to watch, and everything they ever do is a new experience for them. It's something that they've never done before. So this is just an offering to return to our innocence, possibly for a second time, possibly a third time. It's just time that we are born of our own wisdom, where we might not be so naive to that wisdom. So it really is a message to really correct our course, our journey, our crossroads, just allowing us to do just that, where we really have a second chance that's actually being offered. So it's bringing us the possibility of redemption, whatever that looks like, and entering between a space of heaven while also at the same time being on earth. So it's like being of the earth but not in the earth, and being otherworldly but not being otherworldly. So there's something going on there. But the message or the invitation is to release us from a habit of being ourselves, to help us literally grab a beginner's mind insight so that we can see life as if it is for the very first time. That purity of it, the clarity, and just being open and remaining that way so we can learn and see and hear and feel and sense and discover new things, maybe a different seed sound, or listening and tuning into nature. Whoever is in your village, can you see them with new light today, through new eyes today, through the eyes of Creator? And who, when you look in the mirror, what are you saying to yourself when you look in the mirror this morning? So sometimes it's nice to just become a mystery to your own self and literally connect with the sense of our own inner child, that inner childlike wonder. This is also the energy of the moon, our emotions and our feelings. So coming just off the energy of the full moon, really tuning into our feelings, because the moon, being galactic herself, she really does have the juice. And then the last card I pulled, which I also find curious, is the Earth Keeper. So, this is like the world that we are creating. We're involved in creating this world, and we're also all responding to the essence and the wellness of the world. So, earth keepers are really dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all of life. In the Dagara cosmology, there are people that are part of the clan of earth. So, I would call them the earth keepers. So, this is an essence of identifying where we belong, um, and that we hold the sacred space, the dream of the planet, where the rivers are clean, the essence is just galactic, otherworldly nature, and just remembering that everything that we do literally has an impact. I would say 7 generations and beyond. There's a lot of ancestral cleanup going on, um, and narratives going on. But just as we care for our own beingness, our vessel, our body, we also should care for the Galactic Mother herself, who we rest upon. We're kind of like little ants sometimes, I feel. Little ants, but ants on the small earth, and then we're ants on the greater earth, whatever that looks like. So, really, the card in essence is saying we need to be in our own stewardship of our own personal health, our own physical bodies. What are you putting in your mouth, and what are you feeding in your mind as well? Are those good thoughts or bad thoughts, right? And just start doing what you know will be of a higher octave today, an otherworldly perspective today in your own vessel, and then carry that out. Your sacred centers and your auric field and back and forth. It kind of vibrates that way. Just see things literally with childlike wonder, the galactic core, our own personal prime directive. Are we living our purpose? So the earth keepers are generally people born in the years ending in 0 and 5, keepers of the earth. That's why the elementals and the elemental beings that are elemental, they're in need of tending to as well, like tending to the fires, the keepers of the wild. There's lots of keepers, actually, otherworldly. That's what inspired Voices of the Other World. But if somebody in your container is having what I call an energetic hiccup, that is the sound or the call of needing a divination or a diviner of some sort. The memo is really online, and you're going to keep bouncing into those unseen thread lines, so that call literally needs to be answered. But the affirmations for the day, we've got the meta signals or the signs from the soul's harmonic and the angelic realm. It's kind of like Fruit Loops, the toucan. Be with the flow with it, your heart. Believe from your heart space. Believe first, seeing comes after, just so you know. Be flowing with your feelings and flicking the negative thoughts away. And just make a container to commit to your heart and your own personal self worth. It really doesn't cost any money to recognize your own innate self worth. That is a feeling, and protecting our future feelings until they land in our vessel, our container, being our bodiness. So be in the light of Creator and know that you are authentically creating with the universe. So it's definitely time to make it galactic, super juicy for yourself and others, because what we do for ourselves actually radiates outside of us. So with the tiger being online and the cards of the day and the energy of the cosmic soup, I would affirm that I am in the limelight, which is the tiger, with the galactic universe, the core, right? Vibrating at my own personal high note. So yeah, with all of that, make it super juicy and be your own gatekeeper. And as always, I will see you on the other side. InShalla. Ashe.